Well, so we were going to make this not a cigar show, but then we figured, well, this is Cigar Press Live. We'll rebroadcast this on the podcasts. But we have something pretty special. Do you want to tell them what we're going to do tonight?
Yeah, we are going to announce the cigars that we picked for the Essential 30 Cigars of Cigar Press. So it's not like any other top cigars that come out every year, which are like new cigars of that year. This is just an ongoing list of phenomenal cigars that deserve continued recognition, which is pretty cool because, I mean, when we were going through this list, I mean, I was able to go back and be like, oh, yeah, this is a great cigar.
It was tough. Yeah. So how this came about is that, so Thor and I last year did the top 20, just like we always do. And sometimes the top 20 is easy. Sometimes it's not. You know, most people doing the top 20 are talking about the top 20 cigars that came out that year. And what happened was, as I remember specifically, is I believe we had a Fuente or something on the list. There was a new size. We had it on the top 20, and we were on our friend's show at Dojo, and they were evaluating, you know, everybody's voting on all the lists. And spoiler alert, our list won. But hey, they were all good lists. And somebody, one of the audience people and a couple of people kind of chimed in saying that it wasn't fair if Fuente was on the list. And then, you know, if you put a Padron on the list, they're legacy brands. And, you know, and we said, well, wait a minute. If they had a cigar worthy of the list, they should be on the list. And so we kind of got thinking about all the core brands that you walk by every day, that if I was to make a 30 list, that, okay, I want to stock a humidor. So the way we approached it was, we said, hey, if we were stocking a humidor from scratch and we wanted 10 mild, 10 medium, 10 full, what cigars should we put in our humidor, regardless of when they came out? They could be, they've maybe been on the shelves for 10 years, 20 years, who knows what it is, but these were cigars worthy. And so we thought, well, let's do an essential 30 list. And the nice thing about this list is this list can change. It can change based on, you know, 6 months from now, we might change the list. So we're going to keep the list on Cigar Press. We're going to have it. We're going to publish exactly what we have here tonight. We're going to have that up there in a couple days. And then we have the magazine coming out. So you're going to see this in stores. There we go. There it is. The Essential 30. This will be in stores. Shipping should be starting next week. And so this is just a fun list for us to go through, and you guys to chime in on your favorites and the ones that you think we missed. But we thought this was a great list. Like if you're just starting a humidor, here it is.
Yeah. And, you know, it's such a fun list because there's cigars on there that I haven't smoked in 10 years, you know, but when I'm looking back, because, you know, now I'm more into like full-bodied, full-strength cigars, and I'm like, well, all right, let me go back 20 years, and if I were going to pick 5 cigars that I would not want to go without, what would I pick, you know? So even though my palate might be beyond some of these cigars now, my personal taste, these cigars are still some of the ones that should be on that list, hands down.
So the way we did it is that both Thor and I got to pick 5 from each category, blind. We didn't know what the other person was saying, so we had a meeting, and any ones that we both picked, we got to pick another one. One person or the other person got to pick another cigar, and that made that
challenging because we picked a lot of the same cigars.
There were arguments. It got real tough. We'll talk about it later. It got tough in some of the latter categories. I think in the full category medium was a tough category for me.
Yeah.
And so we do have some honorable mentions. I don't know that we'll go through them tonight, but we do have honorable mentions. You'll see in the magazine, and we'll put them on the website. And we're definitely curious to hear what yours are. But we're going to go. We did these in alphabetical order. So when everybody looks at the magazine and says, wait a minute, why are 2 of Fred's picks on one page or 2 of Thor's? That's why they're in alphabetical order. These are not rated. This is not the number 1 cigar. This is not the 30th cigar. We just put them in alphabetical order in the 3 categories. So
that's the only way to do this list justice. You know, one can't beat the other.
Yeah, we're not saying. And the other thing we didn't do, although we tend to have a favorite, we didn't do size. We thought about it and we thought, wow, this is just getting down a real rabbit's hole, I think, at that point.
Yeah, I think one of my picks is very size specific, and I think because it was only offered in a tube, but that was the only one.
Yeah, I think I have one actually that was pretty size specific as well. But so let's go ahead and go through them. You have the first one. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the mild category. This is going to be the category. All 10 of these cigars are going to be what we consider mild. You may consider medium. That's another argument for a whole other show. But we'll basically go through these, and everybody can kind of weigh in. And we'll tell you a little bit why we personally picked it for that list. So Thor, you want to start us off?
Yeah, well, my first pick was Ashton Classic. I mean, you can't go wrong with that cigar. I actually just suggested this cigar a couple months ago for a friend who got married, and they said, we need a cigar. What would you recommend? None of the groomsmen smoke cigars. And I said, well, this is a fantastic cigar. It's got a lot of flavor, and this is probably a cigar that will get these guys interested in cigars after they smoke this cigar. But for mild cigars, it's got a lot of flavor. It's so creamy, it's smooth. The construction's phenomenal. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one for anybody that they're not a cigar smoker. This is the first one to put in my hand. Like you said, using that like wedding, something like that. That's a great one. All right, my first pick and again, these are just alphabetical. My first pick, and this one is Black Label Trading Company, and it was the porcelain. And I love Black Label Trading Company. They're kind of this, very dark. I love their artwork and everything like that. So it's not a company that you think about a mild cigar. But what I love about them for having a mild cigar is that they really show that a mild cigar can still have some backbone. It's a hot button for me, and I don't think we have any in this category, really. I don't like mild just for mild's sake. Mild doesn't mean no flavor. Right. So I think Black Label nailed it with the porcelain. Again, not expecting that out of their portfolio because it's definitely not normal part of what their portfolio is. And I love a lot of cigars in their line. It's a mild profile. It's got a little bit of attitude. I think it's, look, I'm not one of the guys that go into the whole coffee, cream, vanilla, light pepper, but it has coffee, cream, vanilla, light pepper. Great morning cigar for me. So I would definitely have that one on the list if you're looking at something to start out in the mild category.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and one thing that's great about that cigar is even if you have gone beyond mild cigars, it's one of those cigars that you can still appreciate because of that flavor profile and some of the aromas and nuances that it has to offer. So it might not have that kick that you like or that strength, but that flavor profile is dead on.
Yep. All right. What's your next one?
Mine was the Camacho Connecticut. I love this cigar when it first came out, and it's kind of the same thing. For me, Camacho, this was not what I had grown to love from Camacho. But when I first smoked it, it really blew me away. The flavors that it had, like you were saying about the Black Label's porcelain, it was something that I experienced only in fuller strength cigars, but it still had that flavor that you found in those, but it didn't have that strength. And this one also has a little bit of a personal meaning for me. I remember we were at an event, Camacho event, and now my wife, but at the time was my girlfriend, and she wanted a cigar, so I gave her a Camacho Connecticut, and it was a Churchill, and so she smoked it, and we were there all day, and so I think that night she smoked 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
And I was so impressed. I was like, I'm going to marry this girl.
I'm going to marry this one.
Right. But then I love it just the same. I mean, just the flavors are still so robust. But it didn't have that kick, it didn't have that strength, but it still offered that great profile that people like, with bigger cigars.
Yeah, I think that's a really good choice. My next one is the Abo XO. I think this is another classic mild. It's a blend that's maintained a lot of consistency over the years. Obviously, for me, it's also personal because Abo and I smoke cigars a lot. But this is one that I just feel like if I want an old school mild cigar, it's very approachable for new smokers. It's very polished. It's very steady. It's out of the Davidoff factory, out of the Avo side of the Davidoff factory. So it's just got those good classic tones of a mild cigar. Still has flavor, good aroma to it, which is something that you get in the milder cigars. And Thor mentioned earlier about, you may be smoking a lot of fuller bodied, but you kind of miss out on a lot of the aroma and floral notes that you can get out of the mild category. And I think that's definitely one that kind of fits in there with that.
Yeah, it definitely keeps your interest. It's like, it's too mild for me, but wait, what is that? What's that smell?
Right.
You keep waving it in front of your face and keeps your interest.
Yeah. All right. What's next for you?
Well, this was actually one that we argued a little bit about. Instant pick for both of us.
We did.
It was the Davidoff Special R. But this one's the Davidoff Anniversario Special R Tubo.
Yeah.
I mean, what a classic cigar. You can't go wrong. I think this was like one of the first cigars that were ever purchased for me for my family at Christmas, you know, and when I first started getting into cigars, just Davidoff. I mean, the construction, the flavor profile. I mean, you just can't go wrong. And the consistency. You know, you get a Davidoff that 20 years ago, you're going to get the same thing today that you did 20 years ago. So, I mean, that's remarkable. Just the way they blend the cigars, they taste the same. So, you can't go wrong with the Davidoff.
Yeah, I mean it's they've been around forever. They're you know, it's funny the argument of price point isn't really happening as much, right? Now that cigars have gone up in price, but it used to be like, oh, Davidoff's not worth the money. And it's like, look, if it's not your profile, it's not your profile. But the reality is their quality control. The Davidoff you have today, you go buy a box 2 years from now, it's going to taste the exact same.
Right.
They have the depth of tobacco. They have the the processes for that. It's just a classic cigar. But it's interesting is you don't really have that price point argument. Like I haven't heard that argument for a while because Davidoff's at $18 was like, oh my gosh, the cigar's $18 and I'm buying cigars for $6 and $7. Well, no, all the cigars are, a lot of the cigars are 14, 15, 16. So not really as much of an argument anymore.
And it's funny because I find a lot of times with Davidoff, it's kind of like blue cheese. You either love it or you hate it. It's got that profile. It's like it has that grassy floral note that people either love or they hate. But, I personally love it, so.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. Next one for me is the Espinosa Crema. I always want to say La Crema, and that's not right. It's just Espinosa Crema. But this is a great cigar, cup of coffee. Again, Espinosa's portfolio is kind of all over the place. So they do have some milds in there. I kind of picked this one because it's got a soft sweetness to it. It's really good with a cup of coffee. Another one, very approachable to somebody that is not, kind of new to smoking. It definitely has a softer edge to it. But I really like that one a lot. It was definitely worthy of me putting in the 10. Like I said, we're in the mild category right now. That was number 6. Again, there's no particular order on these, but that is definitely one. It's one. Tim just said, it's a great every morning smoke. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Someone going, hey, this is how I'm kind of starting my day on there. Apparently, a couple of Espinosa fans watching right now.
How could you not be, right? Come on.
Right. Yeah. So that was one for me.
You're the next pick too.
I am the next pick. Yes. Yeah. So again, classic mild care. I just don't think you can have a list of 10 milds without the Illusione Epernay. I mean, it's one of those ones that when you're on the road, Illusione's one of those kind of if inner circle type things. But everybody has, even the reps that have different brands, have some sort of collection of Illusiones in there, and you just can't have the conversation without saying the Illusione Epernay. It's clean, it burns sharp, it's a great draw. Dion has a very well balanced blend out of that cigar.
His palate, he's a phenomenon. I mean, it's
I always joke he has the best palate for a white guy, and what I mean is he's not Cuban, he's not Nicaraguan, he's not Honduran, he doesn't have that, but he really dives into these blends, and the Illusione Epernay for the mild category is an absolute win.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're up next.
I had to go Diamond Crown, J.C. Newman.
Yeah.
I mean, as a mild cigar, this is one that has always been at the top of the herd for me. It's just such a smooth smoking, easygoing, creamy, flavorful cigar. I remember back in the day, I always thought it was the best because it was so expensive, but as you smoke more and more, and in our position, we were able to smoke a lot of cigars, thankfully, that we don't. And I remember smoking on a golf course, and I really suck at playing golf, and I'm a lot better at smoking cigars, and that might be because this cigar took my attention away from my golf game. It just held my attention the whole way through. And
blame it on the cigar for your golf game. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
You can't go.
Yeah, and that's another one. That's another one that you mentioned the Ashton earlier. That's another one that you can hand to anybody that is not a cigar smoker. Just go, hey, if you're just recreational or just wanting to try one, that's a great one for someone to try on.
Oh man, if that's your first cigar, lucky you.
Yeah. There's no way I was making a mild list. And again, we picked 5 each. There was no way I was not going to have the La Palina Goldie on there. To me, I love the Lonsdale of this. I love the number 2. Also, it is a perfect cigar for the mild category. It just, for some reason, that cigar, more than any other cigar that I can think of, it just forces me to slow down. I smoke those cigars much slower. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I have a collection of really old ones and I don't want to like power through them or something like that. But, the El Tito de Bronze Factory, just great cigars. Like I said, La Palina Goldies for me. I actually think it's one of the best, lines that La Palina's made. Nothing against their other ones, but for me, absolutely had to have it on this list.
Oh yeah, in a lot of our reviews, you'll see in the writing it says a great cigar to kick back and relax with, and that's probably why it demands your attention. Like you don't want to be doing something else. You just want to give your full attention to that cigar and just enjoy the moment. Slows everything down, and it's just you and that cigar. And that's a great example for that.
Yep. Let's see. You're up next. We got one more in the mild category. Not surprised this one's on the list.
No, yeah, the Perdomo Champagne. This one happens to be the 10th anniversary, but man, this has such a huge following. Really put Perdomo on the map when it was released. And the same thing, man. This just offers so many unique flavors with that mild strength that you wouldn't expect from a mild cigar. You have so many flavors and things that come along with it that you would expect from these stronger strength cigars, but no, this one, it really keeps all your senses engaged, and it's just pleasurable all the way through.
All right, those are our 10 mild cigars. We're now going to jump into the medium category, and just as a shameless plug, you can go to cigarpress.com. We'll have this list up there. And also, by the way, right now, depending on when you're watching this, we are giving away a ticket to Pro Cigar. It's about a $2,500 value. So if you go to cigarpress.com, you can also do that. But let's get into the medium category. I think you're first up on this one, and it doesn't surprise me at all that this one would kick us off in the medium category. Matter of fact, I think we both had this on our list, and then you somehow, we didn't arm wrestle virtually, but somehow you got to keep it.
Somehow, yeah. The Don Carlos. I mean, come on. Who doesn't know this cigar? It doesn't take long to be in the hobby of smoking cigars before you're introduced to the Don Carlos line of cigars. Fuente, they have such a unique terroir when it comes to their cigars. It has the sweetness and just something that, just takes your attention, and you can't get over it. I mean, I've loved Fuente. I think that was one of the first cigars that I ever thought tasted good, 25 years ago. And it's still something that I smoke today. So it absolutely deserves the recognition.
Yeah, and I think it gets lost on the Opus X conversation, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, Fuente, Opus X." Like if you are walking by the Don Carlos because you're only focused on Opus X and don't want to spend the money on it, but you want a Fuente, that's an absolute. This was a tough category for us, but I don't think there was any doubt that one was going to be on the category for both of us. Matter of fact, we both had it picked on there.
No, it was this or Hemingway. It's like, well, how can you go wrong with either? So.
Right. I would lean towards the Don Carlos. They're both good. Yeah. I could pick either one. I could have lived with either one, but to me, the Don Carlos gets the edge. And
yeah, me too.
I think it's a slightly better price point, but I'm not sure, but I think it is.
Yeah, but that short
certainly
story in the morning is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Next up for me, medium category was the Crown Heads Mil Dias. I love this medium category, so I could describe half of these cigars. I know this one is certainly my next pick. The same. It's that rustic, kind of Cuban style blending. To me, this is one of those cigars that just always hits the palate right. I also had picked, what was the one that I had picked also? I was wrestling, and then so one of the things was, one of our rules was we couldn't do LEs. We couldn't, no limited editions, no store exclusives. I had Las Calaveras originally on the list, and it was late in the game when Thor says, "Hey, wait a minute, that's an LE," and he's absolutely right because that changes every year.
Yeah.
So I had no problem jumping over to Mil Diaz because I smoked just as many of those, and I just think if you're a medium cigar smoker, it is an absolute must to have in your humidor, no doubt.
Yeah, and you know, I actually smoked one of those earlier today. We posted on the website today as one of the new reviews, and yeah, I mean, I was smoking that thing, and it was just like a classic kind of tasting cigar,
right? Yeah,
I think it was the Sublime size too that I smoked, and maybe it wasn't in my mind. It was that Sublime, you know, like the whole Cuban size or whatever. But
right,
no,
right.
it just tasted like a classic, phenomenal cigar, and everything about it was right. I mean, it was good.
Yep. All right. Next up for you, you're on deck.
Well, it should be no surprise. We have another Davidoff,
Yeah.
the Millennium Blend. I remember smoking this thing for the first time, and it was everything that I loved about Davidoff, that unique quality that everything had, except it just had a little more oomph to it. You know, it had that a little more strength, but it still had that classic Davidoff flavor, taste, and aroma, just a little more strength. So I couldn't overlook this. I mean, it was one of the first boxes of cigars I ever bought myself, so it might have a special place in my heart. But
yeah,
it's so good. Still,
I feel like it's one of those ones that I forget about, and then I'll grab it out of the humidor once in a while. The Yamasa is another one like that for me that I'll grab. I'm like, I forgot how much I love this cigar, and that's half of it right now, right? There's so many new cigars over the last several years that these are cigars that you might be walking by that you forgot of. That these are great cigars. We could stop making new cigars today, and I could survive just off this list. And you know, some other ones that are out there, but yeah, that's a great.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this list. It's like they're overlooked. It's like, oh, what's new? What's new? What's new? It's like, well, what about this cigar, which is freaking amazing?
Well, and let's be honest, does it have to be new? I mean, does it have to come out this year for it to be an enjoyable smoke? Because these are all cigars that I'd be happy with at any given time. Like, I mean, these are all great. I'd be okay smoking. So it brings me to my next one, Herrera Esteli. When I lit this one up for the very first time, I was about halfway through it, and I think I texted Willie Herrera, and I think I just had one word, and I'm like, wow. This is another one of those. Again, this was a very tough category for me, this medium category, because I don't want to say it's the bulk of what I smoke, but it's probably pretty close. I mean, I love going to the medium category, and that one was for me. And the Herrera Esteli, and then he did a Herrera Esteli TA, which we're not doing LEs, but that one was great. The Miami one was great. Just this one is just always in my wheelhouse, and everybody I've given it to, it's always been in their wheelhouse as well if they're a medium smoker. You know, cream, wood, a little bit of spice to it. Always has good construction. It's also one I can smoke any time of day. It's a solid medium cigar that I can smoke. It's not. I don't like you know, first third's this, second third's this, third third's this, and have all those different strength scales. I just want to enjoy the cigar. To me, that cigar is absolutely no drama.
Right. It's not too complex, right? You could just enjoy it.
But you know, isn't that hard though? It's hard to do a cigar that's not too complex in a lot of ways, to have it perfect in its own right. Yep. Yeah. Let's see.
You're next again.
I am next. This is Saka's Micarita. This is a cigar to me that proves, and it's in the medium category. Some people might edge this one towards full, and I would understand that. For me, it's more of a medium, but I always like when someone blends for flavor more than strength. So this is a cigar that substance beats polished. It's honest flavors. It's real depth to it. It's earthy. It's rich. There's a thick smoke to it. It's just, I don't know. I want to coin like some stupid, like, you know, it's unapologetic for what it is, but it's just one of those ones. It's a solid medium. It's a step above some of the other mediums. And I can see where some people might place that one more to a full category, and that's okay. For me, it's a medium, but love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Again, because they're alphabetical, apparently I get three in a row.
Yeah.
So this is a newer one, as it was last year, the Illusione Habano. I had the honor of doing some stuff with AJ and doing cigars out of there, and I've, you know, obviously, you know, doing stuff with Dion and understanding his portfolio. he went over to one of AJ's factories to do it himself over there because he wanted certain tobaccos that AJ had. And I would say in the medium category, real cigar geeks, this one just, I still see him smoking them. I still see guys that have access to any cigars, and I'm talking about shop owners and guys that are real geeks. I keep seeing the cigar in their hands, and for good reason. It's another one of those just balanced, consistent, solid medium. We know that a lot of factories have certain signatures because of how they ferment their tobacco. So when Dion decided to go over there, I kind of thought, okay, it's going to taste like an AJ cigar, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love a lot of AJ cigars. This is definitely Dion's interpretation of this Habano and what a Nicaraguan Habano would be. And another solid one that absolutely should be in your humidor if you like mediums.
Oh yeah, and Dion cigars, like you said earlier, they're just so clean. Yeah, I don't know what it is. When you smoke them, it's just like your palate's refreshed. It doesn't matter if it's a full strength, medium, whatever. It's like it refreshes your palate. It's just
I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. Which it's not on our list, but I'll talk about it later when we do another show. Anyway, so go ahead. Next one up is you. We're back to Thor. Yeah. Again, alphabetical order.
Yeah, so mine was the La Aurora Preferidos Ruby Tubo, and specifically the Robusto on this one. I mean, for some reason in that blend, it was this Robusto. I don't know if it was the tube or what, but I have found myself with this cigar not being able to light it, just enjoying those pre-light notes, the cold draw flavors, for like an hour, just sitting there and smelling it over and over again without lighting it. I mean, it was just phenomenal. And I feel like La Aurora is definitely a brand that is something that is overlooked a lot. And they have such a unique characteristic that this cigar, I mean, it's hands down one of my favorites. I will never turn down the opportunity to smoke one.
I always say La Aurora is like the brand that everybody, I don't want to say everybody forgets, because that's demeaning, and I don't mean it that way, but it's like it should be bigger than it is in the United States. I mean, their portfolio is really some amazing cigars. As a matter of fact, one we're going to talk about a little bit later. But it's one of those brands that I'm just like, I just don't know why it doesn't have more, but it's, they sell obviously a lot of cigars and a lot of people love them. It's definitely one that I think should be on people's list. If you've been walking by them, the one Thor just talked about is absolutely the perfect one to take a look at.
That's another cigar where you're smoking a La Aurora. There's nothing else that's going to taste like a La Aurora. It's so distinct and has this individual characteristic that just can't be replicated in the industry. So, yeah, it deserves that attention again and again.
Speaking of distinct, my father, Florida Antilles.
Fred's pick.
What's that?
That's your pick. We're on to Fred.
Yeah, we're on to me. We're back to me. I think we both have this one on our list, I think.
Yeah.
Again, this factory, very distinct, very, very, this is, it's hard to say that there are certain cigars that are in their own class, but a lot of times we can have a cigar and go, okay, if you don't have this cigar, I can grab another one and it'll be very similar. This is one of those for me that if I want this cigar, it really has to be this cigar. Just the way it's balanced, just I don't get a ton of flavors, the cocoa and the nutmeg, the cedar. It's got a light spice to it that I really love. I get this one a lot when I'm in stores. I'll go in there and I'll just get that one, and another one we'll talk about later is always a go-to for me. But yeah, that's definitely one.
Oh man, it's like full flavored all the way. It's got all that stuff you love about Nicaraguan cigars, but
but still in the medium category.
Yeah,
still in the medium category.
Down body.
Although I will say some people could probably put that one in full too. But hey, argue amongst yourselves. I'm sure this list will be argued.
We're professionals. This is what.
Yeah.
Listen to us.
So don't take our word for it. All right, you're up on the next one.
All right. Well, for me, I mean, come on, Oliva O. Absolutely a phenomenal cigar. I think some people, I mean, this can go either way, like mild to medium, even for some people, medium to full. But and I think they might confuse that with the flavor profile because those flavors are just so full and rich. And it's another cigar that really put Oliva on the map back in the day. You just can't go wrong with it. I love it. I mean, the construction, the burn, hands down, again and again, no matter what time or any time you light it up, it's going to burn great.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those cigars that morning, noon, night, it'll hit the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if you want to find a company that you can find good prices on, I mean, you know, the online environment of these and some of the retail stores run some really good deals on that cigar.
Yep.
All right. Next one's still yours. We're alphabetical
Right.
order. Could go at anybody's time, but it's still Thor.
No, I love this cigar, La Riqueza Tatuaje. For me, it's definitely one of the most, I wouldn't say underrated, but it definitely, I don't think has gotten the recognition that it deserves. It's such a sophisticated, smooth cigar. It's complex, it's rich, yet it's easygoing and creamy. It's just a great cigar through and through. I mean, all the sizes that I've smoked, I've loved them all, you know, and it just hits that sweet spot, you know, medium all around.
Yeah, I think you're right though. It's not. I mean, Pete has so many big name cigars out there. It's one of the ones that I think people forget about. For me, I think Fausto is another one that I think people forget about because you know the monsters things takes off and you know the other stuff. But that's the La Raza is definitely one of those that I think if you know if you haven't had that, if for some reason you've tried some of the other stuff, Pete, it's a solid medium for sure. A lot of Pete stuff is, but
and it's a great price. I mean, you're not going to gain a lot of I mean, for what you get for the money, you can't go wrong.
All right, we are moving on to the full category, and if you want to leave a comment and tell us who your favorites are in the mild or medium that we forgot, I will look at them because I'm curious what you guys are going to have, or you could leave them in the comments, and we'll look at them tomorrow online. But we're going to the full category. This is it. We're into our third category. If you're just joining us late, Thor and I both picked 5 of each category: mild, medium, full. This is the Cigar Press Essential 30. This list can change, but the idea is that we could focus on cigars that have been around for a while. That if you're building a humidor and you're going 10 mild, 10 medium, 10 full, these are cigars that absolutely should be in your humidor. If not for you, they should be for your friends, for your guests coming over. Maybe you're a mild smoker, but you know your friend comes over and he's full. You should have these in the humidor for him,
right?
Because you're just that nice of a guy,
right? You know, it's like a painter's palette. You got to have all the colors. We got to represent everything.
The artistic guy amongst us comes up with that. All right, Thor, kick us off in the full category.
This first one should be absolutely no surprise. Opus X. Come on, what can you say about it that you don't already know? I mean, this is a love it or hate it kind of cigar. Like we mentioned earlier, people seem to either, you know, covet the cigar or, you know, they don't want to even talk about it. But it definitely deserves its place in history and on this list as a full-bodied cigar. I mean, when they're smoking well, they are just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's I mean it's definitely one. I'm always happy because I go to Pro Cigar and a lot of those end up in the boxes. They've been throwing Opus X's almost each night. There's an Opus X in there, and sometimes a rare one. So I'm like really happy. I'm even happier when Tracy goes with me because she doesn't smoke as many, so then I can have.
You get 2, yeah.
I get 2, yeah.
I remember one Pro Cigar they had BBMFs and
they did. I don't even know if I've smoked it. I think it's still in my humidor.
They didn't even make it halfway through the audience or the
that was before they did the boxes. That's right. They were walking around with them. You're right.
And I had people coming up to me, oh, you didn't get a BBMF? Well, I got 6 of them. I'm like, dude.
Right. Yeah. They got rid of that. They started doing boxes. So,
Pro tip, right? Have a little etiquette. Take 1 cigar.
Please. Yeah. You can always go back and get another one later after you smoke it. All right. Next one's still you. Full category.
Ashton VSG. Holy smokes. I mean, this cigar was right up there with Opus. I remember back in the day when it came out, you know, it took the cigar world by storm. Just such a good smoking cigar, flavors, but it wasn't overwhelming strength either. Everything was really well balanced. You didn't even notice that it was a full-bodied or full-flavored or full-strength cigar. It just everything was harmonized, you know, and just smoked so well. And the construction. And this was a cigar that was on like all the top lists when it first came out, but I haven't seen it on like a top 20, 25 list or whatever it is in years. But it should be there.
It should be there. Absolutely. Yeah, it's one everybody kind of walks by again that they forget about. And that's the whole point about this list, right? It's, you know, it's like you're forgetting about some of these favorites that you're like, oh, these are great cigars. Well, you know what? They're still great cigars. Go buy them.
Still, right.
Next up, full category first one to me, the Winston Churchill Late Hour. This is another cigar that when I first had it, I mean, we've smoked so many cigars for so long. I'm seldom surprised by a cigar. And that was one for me when I heard what they were doing and stuff like that. This is the cigar for me, and we're in the full category. This is a cigar when I'm like, okay, I just had a 22-ounce piece of prime rib or a New York strip steak, potatoes, appetizers. I've got a single malt. I want to finish with a cigar, and it's got to be equally have the ability to hold its own. It's the Winston Churchill Late Hour for me. I mean, it's a great cigar. It's one of those ones. And by the way, you don't have to grab a Churchill size on this. It's great as a Robusto. It's great in one of the smaller sizes. As a matter of fact, I think I like it in the smaller size because I just think that it's a nice compact smoke. I don't need it for an hour and a half. But I love that cigar. It's probably one of my favorite Davidoffs. Was real happy the way they redid the whole Churchill line in general. But Late Hour to me is still, I think, if I'm going in there and I'm trying to decide again after dinner scenario, that's a cigar for me.
Yeah, and it's got that flavor profile that can carry through whatever you're drinking, whatever you're
very eating. Unique.
Yep.
All right, you're up next.
Oh man, well, you can't have this list without recognizing Drew Estate Unico series, and for me, it was the Dirty Rat specifically. It was like Liga Privada, but it was a more refined version of that cigar. And I remember smoking this cigar in Miami, and I had the privilege of having the magazine and being able to smoke some prototypes or whatever. And I remember sitting there and being like, this is one of the best cigars I ever smoked. Maybe it's because I was in Miami, I was driving down the beach, I had an 80-degree breeze blowing through my windows. I mean, it was just a perfect moment, but still such a great cigar. And another one, you either love it or you don't. But you cannot have a list without recognizing Drew Estate and Liga Privada or the Unico series, which this Dirty Rat falls into.
Yeah. This next one surprised me that I picked it. This was my pick.
Mm-hmm.
But you think La Aurora, guess again. If you're going to talk about the full category, this was probably at the show this year. This is a cigar that came out this year. I think it's definitely the newest one on the list. Matter of fact, I'm not sure there's anything on the list that's anything that came out in the last 3 to 4 years, to be honest, off the top of my head. But
I remember you added this to the list. I'm like, really? It's like so new, but it
deserved a spot. I mean, and again, this was the medium category was the toughest for me. But if you have not tried the La Aurora Family Creed, it is, whether you like La Aurora's rest of the portfolio, whether it fits your profile or not, if you're a full-bodied smoker, absolutely try this cigar. I could have taken the bands off and give it to 50 experts in the industry, and no one would have picked it out of that factory. No one would have picked it as La Aurora. It is something completely different for them. And this just shows what this list could be. This list might be something recent. This list might be something that came out 15 years ago that's still available. All of these cigars are still in production and still available. And that's the other thing about this list is that this list is something that you can go out and buy. No LEs, as we said, no limited editions, no store exclusives, no things that are unavailable anymore, no Cubans. We're not throwing out stuff that's going to be hard to get. Any one of these cigars you should be able to get. And so this is the newest one. And congratulations, La Aurora, actually hitting this list, because I really didn't think that would happen, but I had trouble taking it off the list. So I'm
right, yeah. I mean, this is like, you would never think that La Aurora would be in the same wheelhouse as people that love like My Father's cigars or any of those kind of robust Nicaraguan cigars, but this is definitely in the same category. So if you like any type of those Nicaraguan cigars, I mean, this is something that you'll definitely love. I mean, it really blew us away because it did not have any of that La Aurora flavor to it. I mean, it was something completely new.
Yeah. This next one's mine. Actually, it's the LFD Airbender.
Oh yeah, we argued about this one too. You got this one.
We did, because there's so many LFDs to choose from, and this is one of the ones that I forget how much I love this cigar until I smoke it. I was at an event in Dominican Republic, and they kept bringing cigars over, and I there's a variety of cigars on there and LFDs, and I smoked the Airbender, the first one, and then every time that it came around again, I just kept smoking the Airbender. It's another one that's very unique in its category. It's got strength. I'm real big on strength, but not to the point of which you lose flavor. And I don't believe we have anything in this category that, if you want strength for strength's sake, then you can just have something stuffed full of Ligero, enough binder and stuff around it to be able to get it to burn, and you'll be fine. But if you want flavor, which is what we also concentrate on our category on the full, Airbender is another one of the ones it's fairly unique. It's well constructed. It's strong, but it's still got balance to it.
Right, absolutely. I mean, that was always a cigar too. I remember when it came out, I was still living in Miami, and I'd got a box or two of Airbenders, and I'd have that up there with the Opus, and I'd have that up there with the Padron 64s or whatever else. I mean, it was that good to me, it just, and it still smokes great, but like you said, it has that flavor.
And I think it's one of those ones that people forget about. I think that I just think, that there's LFD has so many great cigars. This is just one that I think people forget about.
Yeah.
These next two, spoiler alert, Thor and I both picked these next two, so we just had to divide and conquer because we both had these on our full list, which, if you think about it, we only get to pick 5 each. To have redundancy was pretty good, but these next two were definitely going to make the list. This one's on Thor's list. He won out.
Come on now. The Le Bijou 1922 by my father. Just such a great cigar. Oh my gosh. I mean, I loved everything about this. Just that rich spiciness, cocoa, chocolate, like that you want out of a cigar, with that strength, but like we're talking about, doesn't overwhelm the flavor profile. This is what you'll get in this cigar. I mean, to me, this is one of my father's best blends to date.
I agree. I mean, there's a shop up here that I go to, and they keep these there just for me. I'm not sure anybody else buys them, although when I go in, there's sticks missing, so I guess they do.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones that I guess I just don't have as many at home, or if I have them at home, I smoke them. So I always buy them when I'm at that shop, and then I always buy a couple extra and bring them home. But to me, that is such a solid cigar. I actually think it's probably the best cigar out of that factory for me personally. And that's no small
out of the whole factory.
Statement.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah. I mean, that's no small statement, but I mean, it is just, I love that cigar. And a lot of these cigars we've chosen, when you have them, they're going to be the same the next time. And that's a cigar when I go to is always going to be the same, which leads me to the next one. We've only got 3 left. And if you thought this was going to be off the list, then, then we wouldn't know how to make a list.
Yeah, we had to flip a coin.
Padron 64.
It was between you and me, Opus and Padron 64. It was like, let's flip a coin. Who gets what?
Yeah. I don't think that look, I don't know if there's anybody credible that can put out a list of full, or, and if they want to define it as full. I've heard some people define them as a medium, but I just don't think the Padron 64 is a medium by any means. But I don't know how you can have any reputable list and not have this cigar on it. It is the standard, and was the standard for years, and maybe to some extent still is. Mm-hmm. It was the standard of that price point forever. I remember half of my cigar smoking life, if someone was going to spend anything north of $15 or charge anything north of $15, the conversation began, yeah, I'll just get a Padron. Because they knew the Padron was going to be the same every time. It was going to be perfect every time. There was just you can't not have it on the list. I mean, it's
no, you can't. And this is a cigar that should be on every top list all the time, every year. I mean, it's just that good, and it has been consistent for since it came out. It's just.
I mean, if we were to reduce this entire list, we're not counting categories, and we said, hey, we're going to make a top 10. This would be on the top 10, no doubt.
Yeah, it has to be.
Next one up, we got 2 left in the full category. This one for me is the Roma Craft Neanderthal. And this is one of those cigars that I believe pushes strength as far as it can go without losing flavor. I think it's bold. I think it's got great pepper and espresso, some sort of dark fruit kind of undertones to it. It is aptly named because it is just raw strength with control somehow in it. It's an incredibly slow smoke. I mean, I've measured them, I've weighed them. The amount of tobacco he puts in there is absolutely crazy, but still has it burned perfectly.
No, I mean it's definitely the equivalent of a man starting fire and throwing a piece of meat
Oh,
on the
yeah.
fire. I mean that
And
is
which came first, the
just like,
name or does it just because I know the name that I'm in there? But I mean, it's to me, it's just it's one of those. This is one of those ones, and there's there's a handful of cigars that we say, hey, if I want that flavor again, like I said earlier, if I want this flavor, which is Roma Craft Neanderthal, I'm not getting that in another cigar.
no,
I'm just
no,
not.
no. That's what I'm smoking right now.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's a definite for me. All right, you can wrap up the list with the last one.
All right. Well, to me, come on now. Tatuaje Selection de Cazador. Man, this cigar was, for me, an eye-opening light bulb, heavenly light shining down on me moment when I smoked this cigar. I mean, it was unbelievable. I smoked a lot of cigars before that, but when I first tried that cigar, and it happened to be that Lancero shape, what is that, the La Guido number 2 or 1 or whatever it is, but it doesn't matter the size. I mean, this cigar, the aroma, I have never experienced anything like this cigar before. I mean, it smells like you're walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, just the way that cigar smells. I mean, it draws you in, and it's refined, balanced, complex. I mean, it's everything you could want for me in a cigar. So, I would have put this cigar on here 5 times if I could, but,
Yeah. Well, that is our top 30 essential cigars from Cigar Press. This is a brand new list. To my knowledge, no one's actually done anything quite this large of list. I've seen people pick 5 mild or something like that, but this is our 30 cigars: 10 mild, 10 medium, 10 full. The list is ever breathing. We did see a cigar that came out this year on the list, and you might see us change around a few. Some of these, I think, I don't ever see them going anywhere, but you never know as things come out. Argue amongst yourself, leave us comments, tell us what we did wrong, tell us what cigars that we should have added that were absolutely crazy that we left out, tell us what cigars were absolutely crazy for putting on the list. No, don't do that. Don't bash anybody. They're all good cigars.
We do still have that top 20 for the year coming out, so
we're not ignoring the top 20. We're still going to do the top 20. We're still going to do that. We're looking forward to doing that. Matter of fact, that's what all our homework is right now. Unfortunately, Thor and I have to smoke a lot of cigars to revisit them by the end of the year because sometimes we forget about the ones earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. Go to cigarpress.com. We have articles. We have videos. I just got done filming Not a Cigar Show with Steve Saka. That'll be out next week. Like lots of good articles, lots of notes. 101 if you're a new smoker, just some articles that I write that are absolutely stupid if you just have nothing to do on your lunch break. And then also the big thing, go there and enter to win a ticket for Pro Cigar. You still got to pay your own hotel and airfare, but you know what? It's a $2,500 ticket. It costs you nothing.
Right.
Matter of fact, if I do this right, I don't even know how to do this thing. Let's see, where is it?
You're still going to save almost $3,000 by entering this.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a little QR code. I just put it up in the corner. You can hit that QR code. It'll take you directly to the contest, which will also put you on the list. We send out emails every week to kind of recap what we published that week. We're not going to send emails to you every day. Not going to happen. Sorry. We're not trying to clog your inbox, but we do want you to have valuable stuff.
We're like gold in the pan. You got to sift through the garbage to find the good stuff. So,
wow, are we the gold or are we the?
We're the gold, man.
Oh, okay, we're the gold. All right, all right.
We're not the silt sifting out. Hopefully,
there we go. Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody. We really appreciate you guys. Thor, anything else you want to mention? Oh, magazine hitting the shelf here in a couple days.
Yeah, you guys should be seeing that in your local shops. Make sure to get there. There's only a few copies per store, so if you want it, make sure you get there soon. Ask for it.
Read it. Leave it for other people. We've got lots of good articles. There's a whole little thing on Raphael in there. Look at that guy.
Oh yeah.
It's got snacks. There's a great article. Hector from Espinoza wrote a great article on The Perfect Smoke Doesn't Exist. That's in this issue also.
That's a good article.
You'll see the full 30 in here. And if you skip to the very back page, which I'm not going to show you because you have to look at the magazine, we have honorable mentions in this category. So maybe your favorites made the honorable mentions.
Right. There were definitely there were a few that we couldn't leave out. We're like, we got to put them in somehow. So we did those honorable mentions just because these cigars deserve recognition too. So
yeah, it was more for us than it was I think anybody. We're just like, I don't know how to do. Well, I'll put this one in honorable mention because it was actually tough to do this, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Great list. Yeah, definitely. I don't think, like you said, not many people have done this before, so it's the top of the year. So this ongoing list is something different, something cool. But like you said, let us know if you think there's any cigars that we missed out on that you love that should be on this list, and we'll take them into consideration for the next time around.
Yeah, and tell us if there's something you haven't tried. That if you go into the store and you try one of these that are on your list, and let us know what you think. Shoot us an email. You can email me at fred@cigarpress.com or thor@cigarpressmag.com, or just leave a comment on the Cigar Press site. And yeah, we're curious to see what you guys have, and look forward to next year. We've got a lot of cool new things coming. And thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks again. See you.